Hello, I'm Ryan Wilkes with the North Texas Lead Farmers. We're the group that puts on the shooting matches once a month out here at Proactive Defense. I want to give you guys a little insight as to what we do and how you can get into doing competitive shooting also. A lot of people are deterred from competitive shooting. They think, I'm not good enough, or I've got to have a lot of fancy, expensive equipment, and that's just not the case. In fact, out here at the Lead Farmer match, we cater to a lot of the newer shooters, people who want to get into it, people just like you. So I want to show you what we do, the targets we use, and kind of a basic stage design and how we play the game. First off, everybody thinks you've got to be this A+ shooter, this Olympic shooter, and that's just not the case. The fact is, everybody goes to the range, everybody shoots targets. And when you break down a stage, that's all it is. We're standing there and we're shooting targets. The only difference is we don't have that rule where we have to shoot 1 shot per second. And we're going to move around. We're going to move around with a gun. And that's the hardest part, believe it or not, is just keeping that gun downrange and being aware of what you're doing. If you're the kind of person that can handle that and you're aware of what you're doing, you're already set. You're good enough to be a competitive shooter. A lot of people think you need a lot of expensive, fancy equipment. You'll see a lot of guys out here or at other matches running a lot of expensive stuff. You don't need that. If you want to come out and try it out, if you've got a gun, if you've got a holster, if you don't have a holster, bring what you got, come on out, we'll get you set up, we'll make it work for you. Generally, you're gonna want a basic holster, preferably something a little bit harder, not your standard Uncle Mike's nylon holster, and something to hold some magazines. If you don't have any expensive pouches, you can put them in your pocket the first couple times. It's not a big deal. Come out here, try it out, have a good time. The way the game's played, this is more of a USPSA style match. Now, I will say we are not a sanctioned event. We're not associated with any of your major competitive organizations, but that's a good thing in respect to the fact that I can do whatever we need to do to make this work for you. We're not very rule intensive. As long as you're a safe shooter and you're aware of what you're doing, the rest of it's just a game and you're gonna come out here and have fun. Targets. We use a proprietary target. A lot of other shooting organizations are gonna use a humanoid style target. We're not teaching self-defense. We're not training anybody to shoot another person. We're just playing a game with guns. So what we've got here is a standard Lead Farmer target. You've got an 8x11, what we call an A zone in the middle, and then the larger outer ring here is your B zone. You're gonna shoot as many times as you want to. We're gonna count your best 2 hits on there. If they're in the middle, then the time it took you to shoot that stage is your score. For every one of your hits outside in this ring of your best 2, we're gonna add a second to your time. If you're missing a hit, 3 seconds. So, as long as you can shoot a target about that size, you're good to go. You're gonna see a mix of this, a mix of these targets with hard cover, like shooting at a brick wall. We're gonna have some what we call no shoots out here, more or less like a hostage type target, something you don't wanna shoot. You're also gonna see several different style steel targets, from poppers to static solid steel, smaller following targets, and the Texas Star. We spoke about how the target scored. And like I said earlier, you can shoot as many times as you want to at a target. Steel or cardboard, doesn't matter. We're gonna count your best 2 hits on that target. The whole idea behind the game is to not only be the fastest, but also be accurate. You're gonna get penalized for being inaccurate, right? So being just fast doesn't get you anywhere. Remember that old adage, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. We can't do things at a fast rate until we can do things correctly at a slow rate. We usually tell everybody the first time out, look, you're not gonna win today. There's guys out here that are very serious about that love this game. What we want you to do your first time, focus on your safety, your efficiency, and accuracy also. Focus on what's gonna make you a better shooter and not what's gonna win today, because like I said, it's just not gonna happen. What to expect at your first match. When you show up, check in, and then we'll give you a good 10-minute safety speech to the whole group. We're gonna go over the basic safety rules of firearms. You can reference those on Proactive Defense's Facebook page. But up and above that, we have some specific rules to competition and this particular range. First and foremost, this is a cold range. Proactive Defense is normally hot. During a competition, we do have a cold range. It means your gun is unloaded, it's in the holster at all times. If you want to pull it out, you go to a safe area. You're not to load your gun anytime unless you're instructed to do so on the course of fire when the range is hot. We are shooting at steel, like we said. There's always a small chance that a bit or a fragment can come back, so we do require eye protection at all times and ear protection, even if you're watching. Out here on the course of fire, we do have a strict 180 rule. And what that means is if I'm facing directly downrange, my gun should never pass 90 degrees to my left or right, not for 1 degree, not for 1 second. If it does, then you're not paying attention to where your gun is pointed, right? And we need that awareness. We've got a basic mock-up stage here, kind of give you an idea of how things are set up. First off, we are gonna have a shooting area, and you'll see on the ground sticks. It may be sticks, it may be barrels, but you will have a defined area that you need to be inside of to take any of your shots. Walls, as you can see, we have walls. Walls, technically or figuratively, go from the ground to infinity. We cannot shoot over or under walls. We can shoot around them, or we can shoot through a designated port, but never through or under walls. Start positions, I have several start positions. One you'll see a lot is just a basic stick on the ground that either your toes or your heels will start on, so that we're all in the same position and it's fair for everybody. We're all starting the same way. Another one you're gonna see right behind you over here is we'll put a couple pieces of tape up. We may have you start with your hands here. We do also allow pistol caliber carbines. No 223, 5.56. We are shooting steel and that'll go right through. But if you've got something that shoots 9, 40, 45, bring it on out. In fact, you can shoot both guns. Entry fee is $25, only $25. If you want a second gun, you can play twice for an extra $10. So bring them all out.